we are going to make thin mint cookies, like the Girl Scout thin mint cookies. Now, there are more advanced ways of doing this where you make a chocolate mint cookie dough and you refrigerate it and then you roll it out and you cut out the cookies and you bake it and then you dip them in chocolate. We're not gonna do that. We're just not gonna do that. After all, this is an episode of trying not to starve to death on good home cooking. So we are going to do it the easy way. You need Ritz crackers. I actually prefer the brand name in this particular instance because I find that the Ritz brand name crackers tend to crumble less often and break less often, and so that actually matters in this instance, and so I do tend to buy the brand name when I'm doing these. This is what happens when your cookie breaks. You end up with these chunks in here. You need chocolate to melt. Some dipping chocolate. And you need this tiny little jar of peppermint oil. It's like cooking peppermint oil. It's a little different than like the essential oils that you would buy, but yeah, cooking peppermint oil. While this isn't necessary, I've made it every single time thus far without it. I did see somebody use this and I thought, that actually looks like it might make it easier, and so I'm going to try it. I'll let you know what I think. Hi, I'm Amy on A Lolly Life, and you are spectacular! Even if you don't like to cook, or you can't cook, or the last time that you made something for company, it didn't turn out, or if you've burned the Thanksgiving turkey before. Yeah, you're still spectacular. Remember that. Next, we need to chop this into smaller pieces so it will melt more evenly and more quickly. Now, if you got the kind of chocolate that comes in the little chips, not like chocolate chips, because those aren't very good for melting for this, but like the wafers, the chocolate melting wafers, then you can skip this step because it's already done for you. You'll need a great big huge knife to chop this up. Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. Now we need something to melt the chocolate in. The ideal microwave bowl would be one that is just larger than the amount that you're putting in. This bowl would make it less, you wouldn't be able to dip as many of them because it has a wider bottom, and so like you just want one that fits the amount of chocolate that you have. To the microwave. If you heat it up too fast in the microwave, you will overheat your chocolate and end up with weird dry lumps of hard lumps of chocolate. I know, I've done it several times. There's a couple little lumps left, but it's getting really close. Now we're going to add some peppermint oil. And I'm going to use some of these thinning chips. I'll stir that up, and that is ready. Some wax paper, a couple of forks, I like using the forks because I can slide the fork and get the chocolate off the bottom really easily. One of the things that you need to keep in mind is that you should not tap your fork or your whatever you're doing on the side of your glass bowls, because it could chip the bowl. And even if you could care less about your bowl and don't care if it gets chipped, that chip is gonna go somewhere, and it's probably the chocolate. And so then you're going to have a cookie with a little bit of a crunchy surprise. Crunchy surprise that's not going to feel very good when you chew it or swallow it. This one has a little pocket right there. You can kind of see. So I'm going to re-dip it. These thinning flakes work really well. I would use them again. This is much faster. This tapping the chocolate off is much faster with the thinning flakes because like these drip off really fast and I'm able to move them over to the sheet really quickly. I would definitely use these again. Again, they're not required, but this is something that I did find helpful. I will put a link for these in the description below. This is something that you can usually buy at your local grocery store maybe, or like a Hobby Lobby, buy their baking stuff or in the chocolate dipping section, but you can also get it on Uncle Amazon. And so I'll put a link for that in the description below also. If you don't let all the air bubbles pop, that's what happens. So when you're tapping it, I usually try to tap until I see the air bubbles pop. This is how many it made, and obviously this is why you don't want them to break, and why I buy the name brand, because I get less of them that break. They'll still have a few that break, but not as many. You can tell that the shininess goes away after about a half an hour, and these are ready to eat. To me, this is a fun cookie to make with kids, to have kids help you. They can do the dipping and the tapping, although you have to keep in mind that they will make a mess. Like, I made a mess already, and yeah, they will make a mess. Family activities and family traditions are important. They provide a sense of structure and just happy memories that you get, and having something to look forward to is important. I know that for myself personally, having something to look forward to, or knowing that something good was on its way or coming down the pike, has probably saved my life more than once, and I know I'm not alone in that. Life is tough, but good things are already headed your direction, even if you can't see them yet. You are important to our Heavenly Father. He is aware of you and the challenges that you face. I love you, and I will see you on the next episode of A Lolly Life. I love these. I love the way that the salt, I love the salt from the top of the crackers and how that mixes with the chocolate and the extra oomph that it gives it.